Top 6 Animal Astronauts. Kicking off our list at number 6, we have an animal so small, you might swat it away in your kitchen, the fruit fly. Believe it or not, these tiny insects were among the very first living organisms to be intentionally sent into space by the United States. On February 20, 1947, a U.S. V-2 rocket launched from White Sands Missile Range, New Mexico, carrying a canister of fruit flies. The goal? To study the effects of radiation exposure at high altitudes. The good news? The flies were recovered alive and well, demonstrating that organisms could survive the journey. Moving on to number 5, we have a primate whose journey was unfortunately cut short, but his contribution was immense, Albert II, a rhesus macaque. While Albert I, also a monkey, preceded him, Albert II was the first monkey, and indeed the first mammal, to reach space. On June 14, 1949, he was launched aboard another U.S. V-2 rocket. Albert II ascended to an impressive altitude of 83 miles (134 kilometers) well past the Kármán line, which is generally considered the boundary of space. At number 4, we have perhaps the most famous animal astronaut, whose story is both groundbreaking and heartbreaking, Laika, a Soviet dog. Laika, a stray Moscow mongrel, became the first animal to orbit Earth on November 3, 1957, aboard the Soviet spacecraft Sputnik 2. Her mission was to determine if a living organism could survive launch in microgravity for an extended period, paving the way for human orbital flight. Our number 3 spot goes to a sleek feline from France, Félicette. While most animal astronauts were dogs or monkeys, France decided to send a cat. On October 18, 1963, Félicette, a black and white stray found on the streets of Paris, was launched aboard a Véronique AG-1 rocket. Electrodes implanted in her brain monitored her neural activity throughout the flight. For our number 2 spot, we have a dynamic duo who not only went to space but returned safely, Belka and Strelka, 2 more Soviet dogs. On August 19, 1960, these 2 canine cosmonauts, along with a gray rabbit, 42 mice, 2 rats, and a host of fruit flies and plants, launched aboard Sputnik 5. Their mission was a dress rehearsal for human spaceflight, testing life support systems and recovery procedures. And finally, taking our number 1 spot, the closest relatives to humans to go to space, the chimpanzees, specifically Ham and Enos. Project Mercury, the first U.S. human spaceflight program, relied heavily on chimpanzees to test its capsules. Ham, whose name is an acronym for Holloman Aerospace Medical, launched on January 31, 1961. He was trained to pull levers in response to lights, demonstrating that tasks could be performed in space.